He did it again. Payton Pritchard comes to life, leading this Celtics team on a fire note similar to last preseason, and also an abundance of other Celtics players played their roles, from guys like Xavier Tillman to even some of the two-way players like J.D. Davidson and Drew Peterson. So how will these players work in Joe Mazzulla's system? Will any of them be able to move up? We're going to be breaking down all of that in this preseason breakdown on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. And you guys are absolutely fantastic. We had a live stream today, which was crazy. Had almost 1,000 viewers, people coming in total, 25 people for a majority of the stream. And we're going to be doing these live streams throughout the entire season and through the preseason in sporadic. So if you guys want to stay updated on all of that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive into this recap. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I said, the best athlete on the team showed up. And if you know, you know. As Payton Pritchard, who claims he's the best athlete on the team, definitely balled out and did his master class showing. So let's dive in and get into all of this. Like we said, Celtics took on the Denver Nuggets today in the afternoon in Abu Dhabi to kick off their preseason, and they beat the Denver Nuggets 107-103. Now, the starters did play in the first half, and the Celtics did have a lead in the first quarter, but then did not see the lead until the fourth quarter once the G League guys basically started to come in and the G League Celtics started playing. Obviously, they were playing against the Denver Nuggets G League guys, and it was a close battle to the end with some missed calls, a bad scoreboard reading with the Nuggets getting some extra points. That definitely was a little confusing, but ultimately the Celtics got the dub. When looking at the team stats, we can see that the Celtics chucked up 61 three-pointers, which just goes to show you that it's preseason and that Joe Mazzulla is letting that rock fly. These guys were just trying to find any ample shot or any ample opportunity to get any basket. But like I said, let's dive in and let's look at this roster. Like we said, an abundance of Celtics players played today. The only players that did not play were Tristan Inuara and also Al Horford. He was a coach decision rest with obviously KP being injured. But besides that, everybody that is on this Celtics roster, regardless if they're at Exhibit 10 or if they are a two-way or if they're on the regular roster, did suit up and did get some action. We saw from the starters, Jayson Tatum looked pretty solid, and Derrick White got this team off to a fantastic start, hitting some floaters and playing some fantastic defense as well. Luke Cornett stepped in and played as the starting center and was fantastic. But let's look at Payton Pritchard, the man that we all want to talk about today, because he was even those shots. He shot 13 baskets, 12 of those being threes, where he made 50% of them, making 6 of them, totaling to 21 points for our boy Payton Pritchard. He also had 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Now, Payton Pritchard in this game looked very, very fantastic. And as we saw last season, Payton Pritchard grew in aspects in the playoffs where he was able to drive to the rack and be a threat there. We didn't even see that part of his game today, and he already was fantastic once again, and even looked better in the pick and roll off the passing and shooting, where he was unstoppable. He almost hit a half-court buzzer beater and did hit a buzzer beater with 1 second left, like he usually does, but Pritchard is the man and has truly stepped up. As of last season, if you guys have known, I've been preaching that he could be a starter on some of these teams, and I truly think that he's going to live up to that praise this season. We also saw him last preseason come out and dominate in all of these games for the Celtics as well. So this is not anything that the Celtics fans are surprised about. They know Payton Pritchard is just getting better. He's still a young scorer, and he's just adding to assets all of his game. He started coming in being just a catch and shoot guy, learned some more dribbling moves, became a better playmaker last season, then started scoring better at the basket, got some gritty rebounds, fighting for some offensive boards as he's a basketball player and a hard worker and a true heart. And that's what the Celtics culture is. It's just finding those guys and preaching that. And a guy like Payton Pritchard stepped up in his role today and delivered for the Boston Celtics in that half that he played. Let me know what you guys think about Payton Pritchard. You guys happy that he's on this team? He's on a cheap contract as well, making $7 million. And for the fact that he's doing that while being the Celtics bench point guard where he could be a starter in the league goes to just show you how deep this Celtics team is. I'm in love with Payton Pritchard and can't wait to see what he shows the Celtics fans this season. But let's dive into some other players as well that stood out because the Celtics, like I said, played an abundance of their players from everybody on the starters to the G League to the Exhibit 10s for basically everybody. So let's dive in and let's look at this. Like I mentioned earlier, Luke Cornett filled in at the starting spot with no Al Horford today, and he was solid. Had 11 rebounds and played some great defense in the paint, contesting shots against Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon. And even though he might not be able to get the best stop against Nikola Jokic, because Nikola Jokic is one of the better players in the league, if not the best, as a three-time MVP. He's basically unstoppable force. Kornet did his best to contest and did it. He also brought back the Kornet contest on multiple three-pointers on guys in the corner and even in the paint, and it definitely worked on some of the Nuggets players. When looking also at other players that stepped up for the Celtics, Xavier Tillman, who's also in that big man bench rotation, also stepped up, hitting 2 threes for the Celtics, looking like his three-point shot is gotten even better. And I've been preaching since Xavier Tillman's been acquired to the Boston Celtics that if he knocks his three-point down, if you lock him in that gym with Al Horford and he practices that corner three all offseason and all training camp, he is going to be a legitimate threat and a true rotational player and viewed again as one of the best steals in the NBA as he's on a veteran minimum contract for 2 seasons. And Xavier Tillman already showed that today. His versatility on the defensive side is also unmatched, as he is so switchable and it's so easy for him to set screens and be able to work in this Celtics offense. I also want to mention with Luke Kornet as well that he had some beautiful passes. The Celtics' ball movement in the first half and overall in the game was just fantastic. More with the G League guys and some of the Exhibit 10 guys, they just wanted to get some shots up and practice with that. They were doing some great playmaking. But with the starters, there were multiple times where the Celtics were making 4, 5, 6 passes around the basket, and the Nuggets were just absolutely lost. And Kornet was a major factor in impacting that, similar to Xavier Tillman. Looking at some other players as well, looking at that center position, we all know about Neemias Queta. And Neemias Queta also had a solid game for the Boston Celtics. Had some troubles where he, had a moving screen and also was wide open down low and had that little bit of a hawk screech, as everybody can see. And if you want to see that video, go and tune in and check it out. But like I said, Queta, in my opinion, out of these 3 bigs, still has some minor things to work on and looks like he is going to be the clear third big. But like I said, I think if he develops these things through the season and works on them through the season, he's only going to get better. And he's locked in on the Celtics on a 3-year deal, so they do believe in him. They'll give him that ample opportunity when it's needed. And if he strikes when it's capable for him, he is going to be huge for the Boston Celtics. And I think he's going to learn a lot through the season, being behind guys like Kornet and Tillman. And I think that's going to motivate him even more to want to stretch up and be more impactful for the Boston Celtics. When looking at some other players as well, Hauser had some good moments. J.D. Davison and Jrue Peterson, I definitely want to mention as they were cooking up for the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter. J.D. Davidson's three-point shot was looking a lot better, similar to how it was looking in the Summer League, and he is looking like he could be a product, even if it's not for the Celtics in the NBA, for a team in the future. He's definitely going to bounce off that two-way next season if he continues improving his offensive style of his game. And Jrue Peterson as well, with that catch and shoot ability, was absolutely fantastic for the Celtics unit. And I think he's a mini Sam Hauser for this team. I know the Celtics also have Baylor Shireman, but that's how I viewed Jrue Peterson last season, and he's also kind of filling in at that role. Played fantastic in that catch and shoot role for the Celtics. Speaking of Shireman, Shireman did not have the best game today. He had 2 shots, one first hitting the side of the backboard, other being an air ball, and even though he did play some solid defense and tried to draw a charge and ultimately did not get it, got a blocking foul, I do think that it was just some jitters, some nerves. It's his first game playing in the preseason, and he ultimately didn't get that much run with this Celtics team, and I still want to believe in him. From other guys as well, we know like Ron Harper Jr. played, we know Anton Watson played. They didn't make too many impacts. They did look sound on the court, they did look nice. But 2 other players that I do want to mention as well, Jordan Walsh and Lonnie Walker, with one of them having a solid game and one of them maybe not the best. Jordan Walsh looked completely 100% better than he did in the Summer League. Offensively, this man hit 2 threes, and on one of the threes, hesitated the shot because he was left wide open, and then said, I'm going to let it fly, and it went in. And that usually does not happen. And I love to see that the other teams are disrespecting Jordan Walsh, saying, let him shoot that, and he needs to build that confidence to be able to deliver from that. Also, defensively, he looked sound, being able to play that wing position, and looked very confident playing this role in the preseason. And I'm only hoping that confidence shines through the rest of the preseason and into the regular season. Because if so, I think he has a legitimate role of playing for this Celtics team, specifically with KP being out, in that wing department. I think he can be a do-it-all type guy, hustle guy, making the right and smart play for this Boston Celtics team, while also delivering by being a knockdown shooter. And if he can get down that shot and become more of an efficient clip, he's going to insert himself into this rotation. And then finally, Lonnie Walker. And unfortunately for Lonnie Walker, he only got 8 minutes and didn't play with the top-tier Celtics players. He was playing with those other Exhibit 10-day contracts. And unfortunately for Lonnie, he didn't have the greatest showing, where he just couldn't really get anything going for the Celtics. And it's looking more and more like Lonnie's going to be in the G League for the Celtics team, which is totally fine, as Lonnie Walker has said that he's going to embrace going to the main Celtics and working his way up. And We could see his growth and development in the G League lead him to a new deal with the Boston Celtics. We could see that leading him getting traded to another team and him getting a contract over there as well. And I think honestly the possibilities are endless, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. Though it is only one preseason game, I do not want to overreact. But at this rate, for the minutes that he got played, as only he got 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, was one of the last guys kind of brought in on this team, even behind some other two-way guys. I think Lonnie is going to be setting in Maine. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about the Celtics in their first preseason game? Like I mentioned, it's just the preseason, so do not overreact. Do not freak out. The Nuggets also did have some nice players as well. Westbrook looked pretty solid. Jokic looked good. Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. was on fire in the first quarter. And then obviously young players like Christian Braun and Julian Strawther also looked really, really good for this team and stepping up to fill out roles, which I think is going to be solid for the Nuggets. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about the Celtics team? And are you guys excited for their next preseason game as they take on the Nuggets on Sunday morning? Unfortunately, we will not be live on Sunday morning, but we will have a video going up regarding of the game and going over it for you guys. So I'll have that covered for you. Once again, I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and have a great rest of your day. Go Boston Celtics, baby.